welcome to Sarah's Stampin' Retreat. Today we're going to be making a cute little gift box that I designed for a class I was doing, but I thought that I would pop it on YouTube as well. And so that's the reason that my card is already scored, but I'm going to show you all the scoring just so that you can do it at home as well. So I've got 2 pieces of Night of Navy cardstock, and they each measure 5.5 inches by 7 inches, so you can get the whole box from one sheet of Night of Navy cardstock. And I'm going to score the base at 1 inch on each side. And then with the lid, I'm just going to move it a smidge away from the side, and that helps create a box lid that's slightly bigger than the base so that it goes on nicely. And then I'm just going to score that at 1/2 inch and 1 inch all the way round. So just 1/2 inch and 1 inch on every side. So then, starting with the base, we're just going to fold all those score lines. And then I'm just going to cut. So I'm going to cut up that score line, and then I'm going to cut a little notch into either side of that tab. And the reason that we do that is it just makes it go together more easily. So I'm just cutting up one side on each of the corners, it doesn't matter which side, and then cutting those little tabs. So cut up one side and then cut the tabs, and then cut up one side, cut the tabs. So then I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal Plus, and those of you that watch my channel regularly will know that I usually use the tear and tape for making boxes, but the Stampin' Seal Plus is really strong as well, so I thought that I would use that today because I've just recently bought this, and it's a lot stronger than most of the tape runners. We do a Stampin' Seal and a Stampin' Seal Plus, and the Stampin' Seal Plus is the really strong one. Honestly, I really love the tear and tape. There's no reason not to use the tear and tape if you already have this. But I thought that I would show you the Stampin' Seal Plus just so that you can get an idea of how it works. And some people would prefer one and some people would prefer the other, which is always the way. So I thought I would put this out there as an option. So that's our base completed, and then we're going to bring in our lid, and I'm just going to score that on both the score lines on each side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut up this side, cut up the middle. Then we're just going to chop this piece off here, we don't need that. And we're going to chop this piece off here. So then we're going to be left with this very small tab here. We're just going to chop the edges off, just like we did on the bigger tabs on the other piece, so that we've just got this nice tab with the small triangles cut off the side. And it doesn't matter which way round you do these cuts, just as long as it's this tab in the corner that you leave on. So I'm cutting up both of those to the second score line. I'm cutting across this one so that I'm cutting just that first piece off, and then I'm cutting this first piece off here, and then I'm left with this little tab So I'm just going to cut those edges off. So you might actually find it easier to think of this as a step that you're cutting. So we're going to cut that like that. And then we're going to cut that off. Cut that off, and you're left with this step. And then we're just going to cut the little notches into the side. So I think these little tabs are where it's going to be a lot easier to use the Stampin' Seal than it is the tape. So I've turned it over so all my folds go down. So this is going to be the top of my box, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of the Stampin' Seal on each of these tabs. And then I'm just going to fold those round, so you just want to line up the edge with the fold just like we did on the base. And then we're just going to fold these flaps out, and these flaps are so that we can reinforce our box lid, and it makes a stronger and neater box lid essentially if we reinforce it. So I'm just folding those out, and then I'm just going to cut a notch off the edge of each of those flaps just so that they fold in nicely. And then I'm just going to pop some Stampin' Seal across each of those tabs. And this might actually, to be fair, be a job that's easier with the tear and tape, but it's up to you, whatever you find easiest. I think, to be honest, this is what I've got to hand, but I think Stampin' Seal is easier for some jobs and the tear and tape for others. I'll probably use the Stampin' Seal for the tabs that go around the outside, and then the tear and tape for this job if I had it to hand. So then this is where we see whether the lid fits, which it does. So then I'm going for a really simple decoration on the top. So I've got this piece, which is from our Forever Gold laser cut papers. So these are the Forever Gold papers here. So you get 3 sheets each of these kind of card front type toppers and these elements. So you get a lot in the pack. So I'm just using one of those card topper size ones. And so I'm just going to pop a little bit of liquid glue just around this edge. I'm being really careful with that, so I got a nice thin line. And then I'm just going to use this as decoration. So this is a piece of nice navy cardstock that I've cut out with the oval punch, this top one. And this I've cut out a gold foil sheet, and that is from these detailed band dies. You can see it's this one here. So this is a really lovely set with really nice detailed bands that you can put across your card, and that's just one of the elements in there. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of here. Now pop that onto there. And then I'm going to pop a couple of my Stampin' Dimensional foam pads on the back. And pop that on the top. Now I just think that's a really nice little unisex gift box that you could give chocolates in, or a tie, or some jewellery, something like that. I just think having a little homemade box really makes a difference to the recipient when they receive your gift, because it shows that you've put a lot of thought into it. So that's our project completed for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I'd really appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also subscribe to my channel to see future projects. If you click the bell button and select all, then YouTube will notify you when I've got new videos available. All of the products that we've used for today's box are listed in the description below, and there's also a host code there, so if you pop my host code into your basket before you check out, then I'll send you a free gift after the end of the month. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.